Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm your host, Peter Monn. For easy listening and lots of talk. Oh, what's going on? It is 1:16 a.m. I have lots of things I want to do tonight. You guys, I have to tell you what's so funny is I cleaned out my bag today, or was it today or yesterday? And Alex is like, "Are you cleaning out your purse?" And so, like, look, it's completely got so much space in it now. I got rid of a lot of my lip balms. I only have like one or two, and I have this, and then I have this lip gloss. I threw a bunch of stuff out that I don't use in there. Yeah, so I don't know when I did that, yesterday or today. It is, I already said what time it is. It's 1:17 a.m. now. And we just got done watching last week and this week's RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's on Friday night, so it was on tonight. But we hadn't watched last week's yet. So we literally, it's 2 hours an episode, because they have like the Untucked afterwards. So we watched RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, back to back. And we were both hungry tonight, and so I was like, well, what do you want to do for dinner? And I was like, do you want to get Taco Bell? He's like, I'm not going to eat. I don't want Taco Bell. And I said, okay, what do you want for dinner? What sounds good to you? And he was like, I don't know. He came home and he literally just like laid in bed and played Township for like an hour while I was like getting my video up. And so I went and I turned the fan on, and he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to lay down for 5 minutes. He goes, just 5 minutes? I said, yes, just 5 minutes. And I turned the fan on, and I literally laid there for like 5 minutes. Because I said, we were sitting there, and I said, I'm so hungry for Thai food. Because, you know, like when he went to go get Thai food like 2 weeks ago or whatever, they did not make mine vegetarian, so I couldn't even eat it. All I could eat was the veggie spring rolls. So I was hungry for Thai food. So I was like, well, do you want Thai food? And he was like, yeah. So like a bunch of large marges. I got 2 fried rices. I got the Hawaiian, which has like pineapple and peanuts and stuff in it. And I got the green curry fried rice from this place in Broad Ripple. And Alex got pad thai and just like a Thai fried rice with chicken in both of his. And so anyway, and then I guess like the level of spiciness is like 1 to 6. So I got 2. 2 is so spicy. I like literally have drank like 4 or 5 glasses of water. I mean, I just was like chugging water, drinking it, or eating it tonight while we were sitting there. But we had fun. We had a lot of fun tonight. And today is our 6-year legal marriage anniversary, which means that 6 years ago today, we got legally married. I'll talk about that in a second. And yeah, it's been kind of like a crazy up and down day, honestly. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say crazy up and down day. I'm tired, to be honest with you. Like, I'm really like, I told Alex, like, he was like, are you going to vlog? I said, yeah. He was watch What Happens Live. And I said, I'm gonna go vlog right now, because I said I like need to listen. I still have not finished this true crime book yet, you guys. I've literally every other month I've read between 8 and 9 books in a month. I've read 1 book this month. So needless to say, July is gonna be my catch-up month. Thank God the reading rush is coming, and they put their challenges out. I've got to put together my TBR. I want to be like really picky though about it, because I want to make sure that I read some stuff that I really want to read. So anyway, the reading rush is a readathon. So I got up today, and I had some things I had to do. I had like a recovery commitment this afternoon, and then like between 1 and 3. And then I went and I did a review at Dairy Queen of the Drumstick Blizzard, which was really good. I haven't really reviewed a whole lot at Dairy Queen that I didn't like, if you want me to be completely honest about it. I guess I just really like Dairy Queen, I don't know. But anyway, I'm pouring my Diet Pepsi right now. I had a Coke earlier too, like, cause Alex has cans of Coke in the fridge. So I was like, can I have a real Coke? He was like, is yours gone? I said, no, I just want a real Coke. We've been being snarky with each other all day today. So, and then he got done with work. Oh, no, wait. So anyway, I did that review, and then I came home, and I was gonna do a booktube video on my way home, but I was listening to music. I've been downloading music left and right lately. So I was listening to music, which is probably another reason. I've been listening to a lot of music while I drive and have the windows down and stuff. Oh, I've been really loving listening to music. And I downloaded some that On the Dance Floor song by J-Lo, Pitbull, and 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins, and some other songs I've been downloading. But anyway, all like old stuff that I've already known, you know. Nothing new. I always download old stuff. It's never new stuff that I download. So anyway, I didn't make a booktube video, and then when I came home, I was gonna make a drama video and a Peterisms video. And so I sat down to make this video. I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm really not, like, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow in my video that I do for my drama channel, because I'm sure a lot of you watch my drama channel too. So I'm going to talk about it over there, but like, this whole Shane Dawson deal, like, just really, like, brought me down today. I don't even, like, I don't know, it just really did. It just really, like, brought me down. And then, like, I filmed the video, and then, like, as soon as I got it up, like, I try not to talk about that channel on here a lot, just because I don't want there to be overlap, and, like, for people that aren't interested in that, I, like, just, like, you know, like, leave it off when I'm talking over here. But, so anyway, I just, like, every time I picked up the phone, it was, like, more and more on Twitter, and, you know, and so, actually, that was when I went upstairs and I said to Alex, I was like, let's order this, do you want to order this food? Like, I was like, what are you hungry for? And that's when we ordered the food. And so I came downstairs, and our neighbor's dog is hilarious. They have him in obedience training right now, this puppy. And he was up on our patio, so, like, I went out on the patio and I was talking to my neighbor, and, because their dog, like, came in our house today. It was so funny. Just second time it's happened, and we don't care, you know. We're so, like, laid back about that. But so I was sitting out there, and I called a friend, and I was talking to a friend on the phone, and as soon as I did, one of my, like, other friends, like, texted me and was like, Shane Dawson just posted a video. So I went and I watched this video, and I just was like, you know what? I am gonna sit at home tonight, and I'm gonna watch, and I did get on Twitter a couple times tonight, you know, and stuff, but, because I can't sit for 4 hours and watch TV just straight through. I have a hard time. Like, I have a really hard time. I'm sure you guys can tell at my attention, you know, but I was like, I'm just gonna, you know, put all this on hold for the night. Tomorrow, I'll sit down, I'll make my video. I really want to think about how I feel about things. And yeah, and tonight I'm just gonna enjoy the night with my husband and watch RuPaul's Drag Race and not think about any of this stuff. And that's exactly what I did, you know. I went to go pick up the food, and so it took me forever to get there because Broadway is closed, so I had to go all the way around and come back in. And so that was like, I was like trying to figure out, like, what's the easiest way to get in there, you know? So anyway, I picked up the food, and then I came home and we watched RuPaul's Drag Race. And I got back to the house. Yeah, like 9 o'clock. 9 or 9:30 we started watching. No, it wasn't. It could have been that late. Because they closed at 10, I think. So we probably started watching at like 9:30, and it's like almost 1:30 now. So we finished watching at like 1. That's probably right. And it was fun. I mean, we had a really good time, and you know, Alex and I lay there and we like watch the show and we comment the whole time that we're watching it on like, you know, different. And it's so funny because this season, he and I don't agree on the same people. And well, I said to him tonight, I said, there's not really anybody on the show this year. It's All Stars. It's RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. There's not really anybody on the show that I don't like, or that I don't think is deserving to be there. I think they're all really great this year. I definitely would love to see Jujubee win. I'm an old school Jujubee fan, and I think she's hilarious. Tonight she got on there and she was kind of talking about being sober. She didn't say that, but basically she did. She was talking about like wanting a drink, and then she said, but one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. I mean, that's a recovery saying, you know. They addressed alcohol. Well, that was last week's, I guess. They addressed like drinking issues and stuff like that, which I thought was interesting, but I think it's great that they do that, you know. I mean, there's a lot of drinking and drugs within like the gay community, and you know, there's a lot of addiction within the LGBTQIA+ community. So anyway, yeah, we sat there and we watched that, and we were joking about stuff. And then Alex had told me earlier, I didn't remember this because we don't celebrate it as really our anniversary. But today was our 6-year legal wedding anniversary. I just said this like a couple minutes ago, but so we legally got married 6 years ago today, but our wedding anniversary is in August. And we got married in 2011 in Las Vegas. And that's what we consider our anniversary. So it'll be 9 years in August, but 6 years legally married. And that was kind of like a tough decision for us back then, because we were like, we wanted to wait. We actually got a lot of crap for it, like by some people here in Indianapolis, like people that not like friends and stuff like that, but people that were like, because we were so gung-ho with like marriage equality and talking about it, and it was kind of like this really serious decision that we made, that like we wanted to get married for us in front of our friends and family. And I will tell you, the deciding thing for me was that I had a friend that said to me, everybody can get married, but not everybody can have or said, anybody can, how did he say it? Anybody can have a wedding, but not everybody can have a marriage, or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to be married. Like, I'm not gonna wait. And, you know, that's why we, like, had one of our very close friends marry us. And we wanted our friends and family, specifically certain people, to be there. So that we could be accountable to them for our marriage and things like that. I mean, it was really like deliberate how we did it, but I'll talk more about that on our wedding anniversary when it comes up. But so here's the deal with what happened on the 26th of June though. So I don't even know what I was doing that day. Like, I have no memory of it whatsoever, but I posted a picture on Instagram, and it's like I think I posted 2 or 3 pictures, but the third picture is like us, like in this wedding chapel thing at the Justice of the Peace. So anyway, what happened was that the state of Indiana overturned, like they made marriage equality legal, okay? Well, we had been watching this stuff closely, and a lot of what was happening was that like a state would approve it, and then they would take it back. But if you got married within that time, your marriage was still legal. And so when that happened, Alex called me and said, he said like, hey, listen, we need to go down there and do this like today. And I was like, okay. And I think he got off work early or something, and like he came home and we both just put on like nice polo shirts and shorts. I mean, it didn't, like there were people in wedding dresses and suits and ties and stuff there, but for like us, like, I mean, we had already had our wedding, so it wasn't like that. And so we went down there, we had to go downtown because we're in Marion County in Indianapolis, so we had to go downtown to get the marriage certificate. And actually, I think at that time, marriage equality was only, same-sex marriage was only legal for 3 days. I think it was like, I think by like Monday or Tuesday, they had reversed the decision. So we went down there and we got there like late in the day. Oh, I think they were keeping the offices open till like 7 because they had so many people or something, right? And we ended up getting down there at like 5 or 6. I can't remember how it happened, but anyway, or maybe Alex got off work early, I don't remember. But we go down there and we saw so many people that we knew. It was kind of cool. Like, we're like walking in and we saw like friends of ours that had been couples for years that were like getting married, and they were like, you know, all dressed up and stuff like that, and they hadn't had a wedding or, you know, gotten married. And so we went inside and waited in line and all that kind of stuff. We had to fill out this paperwork, and then we got up to the counter. It was all women that were working in there that day. The women that were working in there were the nicest, most open-minded women. They were so excited about it. So excited about it. And, like, they were so excited for everybody. And they have this big map. Well, they had a couple maps. They had, like, a world map, and then next to it, they had a map of the United States. And then next to that, they had, like, an Indiana map. And so, or not an Indiana map, like a Marion County map, or Indiana, whatever. So, they were, like, when you went up there, they would ask you, like, you know, you had to, like, you know, show your birth certificate and things like that. And so they would ask you, like, where you were born and where you were from and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, if you were the first one that came from somewhere else, like, they would let you put, like, a pin in the map, because they were trying to show, like, the diversity of where everybody was from. And Alex was the first Venezuelan that got married in Indiana as marriage equality. So, that was really cool because he got to put his thumbtack in Venezuela. So, we were just having so much fun. Okay, so what was funny was that night, we had dinner plans to go out to dinner with I just remember this, I don't know how I forgot. We had dinner plans to go out to dinner with my aunt and uncle. And my aunt and uncle were my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave that recently passed away. They were a big part of our wedding. Like, they were there, they came to the wedding. They basically represented my mom's side. Just, you know, they were always so supportive, and they adored Alex. So we were going out to dinner that night because my birthday, I don't even know what day of the week it was. I said it was a Friday, but I mean, well, I have no idea. It could have been a Wednesday, it could have been a Tuesday, I have no idea, but I'm gonna pull in here, I'm gonna find out because I wanna know. Okay, I'm charging my phone right now. Friday. Oh, I put Friday, like as if I know what it was. I think it was a Friday though. Wouldn't that be so funny? June 26, 2014. Day of week. It was a Thursday. So we had dinner plans. We went to Daddy Jack's. If you live in Indianapolis, we had dinner plans that night to go out to dinner with my aunt and uncle. So for our birthdays, because Alex's is on the 21st and mine's on the 29th. So we were going out to dinner on the 26th with my aunt and uncle for our birthdays. They were taking us out. They didn't know anything, right? So when we were down there, like, you pay your money. It's like literally, like, I don't even remember how much it was. It was super cheap to get your marriage certificate. And then, which for us was all we needed to have, but they were like, for an extra $10, you can have a ceremony. Do you guys want a ceremony? And then, like, a lot of people were having ceremonies that day, right? Like, they were just, like, going through. And we were like, well, how long's the wait? And the woman, like, looked in, and she was like, oh, no, like, you guys would be next. There's, like, nobody waiting, because it became so late in the day. Apparently, the lines were super long, but we got there really late. So, we walked in, and, oh, this woman was so cool, and she was so hilarious. And so, she did a like, you know, she asked us if we were like, we already had a wedding, but we want to do this again. And so, we got married underneath this little thing, this little chapel thing inside the building that they had built, or that they had there already. I don't know. That's the picture on my Instagram, the third, I think it's the second or third picture. I don't know how many pictures I put. I either put 2 or 3 in a row. You know, like how you can, like, do this. But anyway, we had our picture taken, we got married, we exchanged vows, or they just, you know what, I don't even remember, honestly. But I remember we went to dinner with my aunt and uncle that night. And, because that was also the same night that my aunt told me that she reads a book a day. She was like, I've read a book every day for the last 2 years. I remember she told me that, because she was obsessed with her Kindle. You know, like the Kindle reading thing. So we went there to dinner, and we're like, guess what we did today? And they're like, what? And we're like, we got married. And my aunt was like, you already got married. I'm like, no, we got legally married. So it was really cool, you know? And, you know, I posted on my picture on Instagram today that when I was younger, when I was in high school, or even college, you know, like, my younger self, my young 20-year-old self, would never have believed that that was possible. And I know that that's not how a lot of, like, LGBT, you know, QIA plus people feel, but for me, I never thought that that was possible. I just couldn't imagine. Like, if you had told me that one day I would be legally married in the United States and living in a house with my husband that I called my husband, like, back then it was, like, even weird to call somebody I was dating my boyfriend, like, you know, that I would be living in a house with my husband, that we would have been together for almost 12 years and married for 9 and almost 9, and that, you know, we had dogs together and a house together and traveled together, and our families, you know, on it, that we were part of each other's. I wouldn't have believed it, you know. And I said on there, you know, that, like, hope is a huge motivator for me in my life, and it is. Like, I'm such a big believer in hope. That's a change I never in my life. I can remember having conversations with people. Like, I don't even, you guys, like, I don't even remember, like, in my early 20s having conversations about marriage equality, because it was, like, so far out of the realm of belief, you know, that I just couldn't even imagine that. You know what I mean? And, so, like, I don't remember having those conversations, but I remember having conversations with my friends about change in the world, you know, and to think that that's where we're at today, and I can sit on here and say that we've been legally married for 6 years, like, that's a big deal, you know, and I have to believe that other positive changes in the world are possible as well, and I have to, I mean, as corny as it says, you know, as corny as it is, I have to be the change I want to see in the world, like Mahatma Gandhi said. I have to believe in that. I have to be part of the change. I have to be part of hope. And, you know, doing things like all of us do to see those positive changes happen, you know. And I put something else on there, like, you know, I hope that I get to see, you know, all of these positive changes in the world come true, you know, in my lifetime. I do, you know, like, I know sometimes in the way that the world is going, that we think it's never going to get any better, it's never going to be any different than it is right now. Change is not immediate sometimes. It can be. It can absolutely be, but sometimes it's slow. And sometimes that's good, you know, like, because it's more long-lasting. I don't know. I'm just saying that I hope for positive change in our world, you know, and I think I'm hoping for that, you know. But anyway, so yeah, we got legally married 6 years ago today. It's crazy to me to even think that, you know. It's crazy to me to think that we've been together 12 years almost. 12 years in August. It's like, I just saw lightning. It's supposed to rain. It's 77 degrees outside. It is really, really warm. So, last night after I got off here, I listened to a little bit of the audiobook. I've got to finish it. So if you don't know, the live stream is not this Sunday because I'm celebrating my birthday. It's next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The Night Stalker. So I went home and I watched Steven's vlog, his second vlog, and I linked his channel because it was not problematic. It was actually like, I sat there literally like this, like just like watching the whole thing and like listening to, I mean, it was so enjoyable. Like, I mean, I drive around in a car, so let's just be for real. Okay, my camera quality is for shit. But like, and he's using his computer, but like, it doesn't even really matter in all honesty. Like, I love to just listen to people talk about things that I find interesting, and I don't know what it is about him, but like, he has really interesting points of view, and I really like, he doesn't try at all. Like, he just is like, I don't know, like, I linked his channel because I want people to go check him out, and if you enjoy listening to, I mean, like, this is honest to God how I feel. If you enjoy listening to me, you will enjoy listening to him, because we're very, very similar in, like, just in the talking aspect. And, you know, like, he shared some, now he's put up a third vlog, and I started watching it, but I haven't gotten to it yet because I was kind of busy tonight. I've been kind of wanting to stay off YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff tonight. I was like, you know, I just need to spend the night with my husband and just, you know, enjoy being with my husband tonight. And so I didn't get to, I'm gonna watch it tonight when I get done vlogging. I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna watch I'll Be Gone in the Dark, because I have an episode, like, I like almost to the halfway mark of the second episode, but I don't know. But anyway, in Steven's vlog, so Steven's a person that watches my vlogs and he talks about me in his vlogs. He's very, very Steven, thank you. He's very complimentary of me in his vlogs, and I really appreciate it. But that's not why I'm shouting him out. Although, I do appreciate it, but that's not why. But I was listening to him. You know, I am somebody that I never personally had any bad experiences personally with religion, like any churches that I went to or things like that. Like, I grew up going to a pretty liberal church. I grew up Lutheran and going to, you know, a Lutheran church. It wasn't like Missouri Synod. It was like more of a liberal Lutheran church. And that moped's lights were so bright. Anyway, I just don't remember any negative experiences. I don't remember sitting there and feeling like they're talking about me or condemning me. I didn't have any of those experiences. Now, I have friends of mine, a lot of which aren't even gay, that had those experiences with their church, you know? And, you know, my best friend Tanya was raised Pentecostal, and she talks about it, that, you know, like, when she was growing up, to, like, even, like, you know, and she hasn't, like, just thrown all of those beliefs away. Like, some of them, like, she holds dear, even though she is not Pentecostal today. Tanya is just very spiritual. But, you know, she would say to me, like, when she was growing up, that to, like, think of something meant that, like, you were just bad for thinking it, you know what I mean? And I've had so many friends of mine that have told me that their experiences were similar to that. And that car was, like, weaving all behind me and speeding up and slowing down. I don't like that when people are like that behind me. It makes me nervous. But then she had great experiences too, you know, like, she talks about going to church camp in the summer and how much she loved it, and, you know, that it was like bonding experiences and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's like mixed. And a lot of my friends are like that. I have to say, the friends of mine that have had, like, that say they have the worst experiences are Catholics, but, you know, like, and I know a little bit about Catholicism, but I'm not Catholic, but, like, You know, and then I have other friends of mine that are like, I hate when Catholics talk bad about Catholicism because my experience has been good. That's what they'll say, you know, like, I have a couple friends of mine that are always like, I hate when people are dogging Catholicism, like, you know, because, like, I had, like, a really good upbringing with Catholicism. So I don't, it stopped, and I had no idea it stopped, and I really do not know where, like, how long it's been stopped. So I was talking about, like, religion and my feelings about, like, supporting other people and things like that and their religious beliefs. I never had any negative experiences with religion, personally, okay? But when I was, like, late teens, early 20s, I was very, like, in high school and in my early 20s, don't come at me with that Bible-thumping BS. Just don't. I don't want to hear it. Keep it to yourself. Yada, yada, yada. But I really think also, like, I was looking for anybody that was going to, like, come for me being gay and use religion as the weapon, if that makes sense. I don't feel that way today. I feel like if you have religious or spiritual beliefs that are not harmful to other people and they uplift your soul and spirit, then by all means, practice what you want to practice, and I will 100% support you in that. You know, my mother was a woman of very, very strong faith, and we had a lot of spiritual talks. I don't consider myself a religious person. I consider myself a spiritual person, but, so I'm watching Steven, I don't know if he's Steven, I think it's Steven. Steven, he has two middle names, I know that, he said that today in his video. But I'm watching Steven's video, and it's like, he goes into this whole thing about, like, why he started this. So he has a Facebook group that he started. It's a luxury, I don't know this person that he's, Abraham, I don't know who this person is he's talking about. I think he's, like, talks about the law of attraction and stuff like that. Because he started this, like, luxury page on Facebook. I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm going to. And he puts these, like, Abraham, I just, like, the last name is just escaping my mind right now. I'm sorry, Steven, I'm sorry. But he puts these quotes on, like, luxury pictures and stuff on his Facebook. And actually his Facebook page is doing really well, he said. So then he kind of goes into this whole, like, he shows all these things that are, like, like, mementos of pride, like this cake, and he's super funny, you guys, he's so funny, because he's like, okay, I cannot stand somebody, I'll just be honest with you, like, I don't mean, like, can't stand, like, I won't have anything to do with them, I mean, like, can't stand, like, I want to shake them and be like, listen, don't do that, I don't like that. When people are self-deprecating, I don't like when people put themselves down. I do it, I know I do with my weight, I know I do, I know we all do it because it's our insecurities, I do it myself, I know it, I hate that I do it, right? But that's, like, one of my biggest pet peeves and turnoffs, is when somebody puts themselves down all the time. So when somebody delights in something about themselves, and I don't even care how corny it is, but they, like, tickle themselves, like, you know, like, they find it humorous or cute or endearing in them, like, I love that, right? That we can appreciate our own things. And he's, like, showing all of these rainbow pride things that he has, this cape. He says something about, it's not a cape, but it looks like a cape or something. His flag he has, and he's talking about his stickers that he has on his computer. But then he holds up this thing that I think he said his mom and sister got for him. They're always finding stuff for him at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. And it's like this rainbow, and it says, like, have a blessed day or something on it. And he kind of laughs about it. It's really hilarious. But, like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and I'm like, I don't love rainbow stuff for Pride Day. That's just that's just me. I don't love it. It's not my favorite thing. Even though I just put a rainbow flag on a tweet today about our marriage. But, like, I don't think I own anything rainbow in my house, you know? And it's nothing about the rainbow flag. I just don't like rainbows. So for me to have, like, anything rainbow, I probably, you know, even if it's the biggest. Now, I do have, like, HRC stuff, and I have a lot of t-shirts, that, like, gay rights t-shirts and things like that, but I just don't like rainbows. So I don't have any rainbow stuff. It doesn't mean I'm not full of pride. I'm bursting with pride. I just don't like rainbows. But anyway, Steven does. So he has more rainbows than anybody needs. So anyway, he has a lot of rainbows. But he goes in and he talks about this story, and I just found myself like sitting there, like when he first started talking, I was like, uh-oh. And then like I was so taken by the story. And this story alone, if it was a 3-minute video on YouTube, I think shows the power of change. And, you know, like, of course, we all want, like, highly edited videos where the lighting is perfect and it has catchy this and music and all that kind of stuff, right? But 3 minutes of this video where he is talking, if you cut that out, the authenticity, the genuineness, and the honesty, I think back in the day, I don't think so today, because I don't think a lot of people say they want that, but I don't really think some people do. I think people want these big productions, you know? But this 3 minutes is so authentic. And he's talking about before he came out, he goes, when marriage equality was passed, I went, and he's talking about how religious he was, and that, you know, like his belief in Christianity and God and all this kind of stuff. And he said, I went out and I bought stuff to write on your car, and I wrote on my, this gay guy that's talking about his pride stuff that he loves, okay? He goes, I went out and I bought this stuff to write on my car. There's lightning everywhere. Steven, that's probably for you. But anyway, so he said, I wrote on my car, marriage is for one man and for one woman. And he's like laughing at himself telling this, but it's a very serious story. Like, he's not laughing like putting himself down. He's like laughing at like the ridiculous looking back, you know? And he said, you know what though? He goes, I needed to go through that. Like, I needed to go through that change. And he pauses at one point, and I like literally, I effing lost it. He said, but I don't believe that today. He said, I believe that God wants us to love who we are. And I don't believe that God made me this way not to love myself. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you're talking about somebody that went from self-hatred and putting crap like that on his car to this incredible self-love, of which then he goes into this whole corny, it is so corny, assignment that the only other person who's corny enough to come up with assignment is me, because I do shit like this. But it's so genuine. Like, his soul is so gentle. He has a list on his computer that he keeps. I was telling Tanya about this, of all the things he loves in the world. You know, that he loves his nephew, and he loves his brother, and he loves his sister, and that, and before that he's talking about how his that he knows that his mother loves him for who he is, and that his brother and sister love him, and his friends love him, and it's such a pure message. And before all this, like, you know, he goes in and he talks about his he doesn't understand, like, I don't even really think he really he has any clue. And I'm not just saying this because to sing his praises, but he really opened my mind about some things. Like, I don't think he really sees, like, the depth of his soul. Like, he's sitting there and he's talking about growing up in trailers. And it's not like this pity me story. It's like, this is just my reality. I grew up in trailers. Like, I grew up living in trailer parks. Like, that's who I was. That's how it was. And, you know, and he said 2-bedroom trailers where I grew up. And then he said that he always wanted luxury things. And they went on a field trip to the Biltmore estate, the biggest house in the country. And he said, I stepped out and I looked at this house and I thought to myself, I belong here. And, you know, to think about that, right? Not on a superficial level, but this kid, okay, that's on a field trip at the Biltmore estate, to step out and believe in himself, I can see myself here someday. If you could bottle that up and teach that to somebody, I mean, that's some powerful stuff right there. I don't even know that I have that kind of confidence at 48 years old almost, you know? And, This assignment that he does, I'm laughing and saying it's corny. It's not corny. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm saying it because anybody else that you would talk to about it, which is why I was talking to my friend Tanya about it. I was like, Tanya, we got to do this. Like, this is such a great, like, this is a gratitude list, like, hyped up. Like, making a list of everything that you love. You know, I've seen things I like or great memories or whatever, but, like, this is honestly, like, I've never made a list of things I love just so that I can refer to it. You know, and he's like, if he didn't steal this from a book, it's genius. He's like, you know, when you're in an airport, he tells this whole story about being in the DMV. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not watching these vlogs, you're missing out. I'm just telling you right now, okay? So he's talking about how he and his sister are at the DMV. He goes in and he talks about, like, if you're at the airport and you have to wait and you're just like, you're there to be on the plane, right? But you're also there because you want to have a good time. And this is basically like, this is like monk teachings, like, you know, Tik Tok of, like, you know, like when you're driving your car and you're like in traffic and you're singing on the radio and you're singing to this one specific song and like people are honking at you, and you're on your way to work. What are you doing in that moment? You're singing a song. It's like that, right? And he's talking about, like, if you're at the airport, like, start looking around at things you love. Like, I love her dress, or I love his glasses, or I love the carpet, or the, you know, and I mean, you talk about taking a negative and turning it into a positive, the power of that by what he has taught his mind to do. And then he goes in this whole thing about being at the BMV and, like, everybody had to wait, and he just decided, like, I have to be here anyway, so I'm gonna turn this into fun. And he started talking to people, and it was annoying other people because happiness bothers people. Miserable people don't like happiness. And I was sitting there watching this, and I just was like, I don't know, I was really powerfully moved by this vlog. I was really, really powerfully moved, Steven. And I want to say, you said at the beginning of your third vlog, I haven't finished it yet, that your mom got so excited by me even mentioning it in a vlog. I'm nobody, you know, like, I'm just some dude that drives around in a car, and thankfully, a lot of people out there have chosen to listen to me, but that doesn't make my voice any more important than anybody else's. But I want to say something to you, and I want you to bring your mom in when I say it. Your mother should be very, very proud. She did a wonderful job of raising a fine young man that has profoundly affected me today. Because when all of this stuff was going on YouTube today, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, like, who can I look up to? You know, like, who do I look up to on YouTube anymore? When every person I feel like is just like this and this and this. And you know what? And listen, and I know people make mistakes, and I try to give people second, ninth, and 10th chances, and I don't even know how I feel about all of it, but I got kind of in a place today where I just was real sad about YouTube. And I went out and I pulled up my YouTube on my phone, and where I had started your video was up, and I was like, well, here's somebody. Here's somebody with a gentle soul and a kind heart that's just getting on here because he just wants to talk. Not a whole lot deeper than that. I don't have to watch any of these people. I can give this my attention. So, I appreciate it. And I, for one, will continue to watch your vlogs. I might not always agree with what you have to say, but that's okay, you know? Like, that's the wonderful thing about being on YouTube, is that you don't have to always agree with what people say. I think we've gotten into this world where it's like, if you don't agree with me, then we can't be friends anymore. Like, what happened to having discussions about things? I don't agree with half the people that are my closest friends, you know? Hell, Tanya, Jean, and I, we haven't even agreed on a lot of things in our lives. That doesn't mean that we end our friendship over it. No, my God, no, not at all. You know? Sometimes we'll just, like, I mean, sometimes we'll be getting into something, and she'll say, you know what, let's save this conversation for a couple days, because, like, we aren't seeing eye to eye right now, and I'll be like, all right. You know, we'll just shelf the conversation. It's not the time to have it. We don't want it to ruin our evening. That's completely fine. We're adults. We can do that, you know? But I think we live in a world where we feel like if you don't agree with me, and you don't see it exactly how I see it, educate me. Educate me on it. Maybe I haven't had the same, maybe I haven't walked the same walk you have. You know? But I am gonna start doing that I love thing because I love that. I'm gonna keep it on my computer or on my phone. I think I might keep it on my phone. A list of all the things I love. Of course, about 5 or 10 of the things on his list had to do with his dog, Isabella, but so you know, you win my heart real quick when you're a dog lover. You know what I mean? Boo Radley was so gentle tonight. He was so sweet. Tucker and him just hanged. They just hung all over Alex and I while we were watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And then about halfway through, Boo Radley jumped off and he came over to my ottoman and he just like looked up at me. I said, well, come on up here, Boo. And then he just let me hold him. And I was like smelling his ear. I was just like burying my face, you know, like in the top of his head, like, you know, right here, like where his little, he's got like this little, you know, hairs that stand up on top of his head. And he smells so much still like a puppy, like a little puppy. And they're so funny. Little guys. Alex and I were talking about our neighbor's dog tonight because, well, he's a real sweet dog, but he basically doesn't have any kind of, he just doesn't follow rules. Let's just say it that way. Well, how did she say it to me? I was talking to her because they took him to obedience class for the first night, the other night. And I said, how did it go? She was walking him. And he's like this, you know, when they're walking down the street. They are both so funny and so nice. And she goes, he's like the kid that none of the other parents want their kid to play with. She goes, we don't know what we're going to do, Peter. And I was like, he's going to be fine. He's a puppy. And so Alex and I were like laughing. And, so like Alex was upstairs and I was like working on the computer and he was like looking down from the loft because our bedroom's a loft and he was like looking down talking to me and he was like, the dog's on the patio, he's getting into your stuff out there. I was like, oh my God. So I like went out there and then they were like so embarrassed and I'm like, oh my God, don't even worry about it. And I said, I know that you feel bad. I said, but we really don't care. But Alex and I were talking about it. Can you see the lightning in the background? It's like over there, but I think you can probably see it in the background now. But anyway, Alex and I were talking and he said, I think when you've had a dog for a long time, you forget like truly how difficult puppies are. And I think this was partly for my benefit as well, because I think he thinks I have puppy fever, which I don't. I don't know when I'll want to get another dog, you know? I'm thinking a lot about pee-pee lately, so I don't know. You know, I'm not there today. But we were talking about that, and he was like, I think people, when they've had dogs for a long time, they haven't had puppies, they forget, like, you know, that they get into trouble, and, you know, that like, that's just puppies, what they do, you know? And I said, was Pee-Pee like that? Like, did he, like, chew up your stuff? And he was like, you know, I don't really remember. Well, I hope I don't forget things about it, you know? The other day I was taking a shower and, you know, whenever I would take a shower, like Boo and Tucker are always in the bathroom, like standing there just looking at it. But like Pee-Pee would just sit in bed and like I would peek my head out in the bathroom and he would be like just sitting there looking at me. And the other day I was walking from the shower, like I dried myself off and I was walking from like the shower to the sink. And I just like looked out there, you know, and I was like, he's not there anymore. like, I'm gonna get on here tonight, I'm gonna talk for an hour, and I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna talk about real fun stuff, and that just has not been the case tonight. But that's okay. You're supposed to, you just have to feel what you feel, right? Abraham Hicks is his name. I have no idea who that is. I think he writes those Law of Attraction books. I feel like I miss so many things in my life, you know, like, it's weird and like looking at my life and thinking that like, where am I out of time? That like Alex and I have been together like 12 years, you know, and I look at that and I think how much has changed, and, you know, just even the last 10 years, you know, or whatever, and everybody that's gone, and 30 years feels like a long time ago. Like, I used to say it felt like, I mean, I've said this every once in a while, probably even on here, that it's like, sometimes it feels like just like yesterday that I was like in high school and I was picking my friend up for school. It doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't know when that changed, but it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels like it's been a really long time since I was in high school. Since I was like 18, which will be 30 years on Monday. I turned 18. 30 years ago on Monday, I came out on my 18th birthday. Crazy, isn't it? I can see myself at 28. (27, 28). My first boyfriend and I had broken up. And what would that year have been? Hold on a second. So, yeah, 28 was actually my year. It was a year of being single for me. It's probably one of the best years I ever had in my entire life. I think I was single like half of the year. It was probably one of the best years I ever had in my entire life. And except for that I had been diagnosed with epilepsy the year before. But I was working out every day, I was running, I was lifting, I was in the best shape of my life. I weighed about like 155, 160. I mean, like 100 pounds less than I am now. And crazy. It's very, you know, like active and doing stuff, going out of time. And doing the crossword every day. I can remember getting up and doing the crossword every day with my friend on the phone on the weekends. Whatever, you know, I was off, and I would make a pot of coffee and I would sit there and do the, I could see myself at my kitchen table at my apartment that my ex and I had shared and then he moved out of. And I would sit at this, I had this little like kitchen nook in this apartment, and I would sit there and I would do the crossword. My friend and I would call each other when we were going to start it, and then we would see who could get it done first. He always beat me. But the local crossword's really pretty easy. Like, once you start it, it's just kind of like a lot of it is repetitive. Like, the woman that wrote them back then, she used a lot of the same words from day to day. not day to day, but like every third day, she'd repeat like a couple words, you know? So after a while, you kind of knew the words, but it was fun. I think it made my mind really sharp doing the crossword. I want to say this really quick because so I don't forget, and I know I talked a lot about Steven's vlog, but one of the things I really enjoyed about it was that he kind of just like skipped around from thing to thing and just talked about whatever he wanted to, and it was so enjoyable just to sit there and listen to somebody talk. It was very soothing. I really, like, that's what, if you know other people like that, please let me know, because those are the kind of people that I enjoy listening to. And maybe that's what it is that I finally found a channel that I feel like, so now, Steven, you're gonna have to post videos all the time, just for me. But anyway, so, what was I saying? Yeah. I had a 32 waist, God. Oh my Lord, I don't even know the last time I had a 32 waist, and it was loose on me. I wore all these vintage t-shirts that I would get at Broad Ripple Vintage, and then I would wear these bootcut jeans from Abercrombie. They were like the only jeans, because I have kind of like long legs. It doesn't look like it in pictures, but I do. I'm like high-waisted. And they were like the only jeans that would fit. And I had these like Sketcher clogs. I don't know if you call them clogs or mules or whatever you call them. They were these big leather deals that I used to wear. I was obsessed with them. And God, those shoes were so chewed up by the time I got rid of them. And where am I at on time? I know it's gonna stop, and I'll forgot I was talking. I'll forget that it stopped, or I won't see it. And, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I won't see that it stopped, and then I'll be talking about something, and then I'll forget where I was at when I start recording it again. Okay, but anyway, I used to wear these Sketcher deals, these shoes. It's so much fun back then. I did have a really good time. I still have a really good time in my life, but that was a really fun period of my life. I remember one time though, like, do you ever have a friend that like does something? This was actually my friend that I was moving to Denver for. Do you ever have a friend that does something and like, you understand why they did it, but like, and even if it's like a good thing or a nice thing, like, the way that they do it really hurts your feelings. You know what I mean? So, I had like, that time I had like 3 really close friends. Now they all live over the place. One of them is my friend that I've known since, like, he and I were in our early 20s, and we like went on a date and then decided that we'd be good friends. We've been friends ever since. He lives in Florida with his husband. Another one of my friends lives in Colorado, and another one of my friends lives in California. And like the 4 of us all hung out together back then. And the one in California and Colorado dated, like, when they both first came out. But after that, they never, like, they were like the other 2 of us. Like, we just, you know, realized that we weren't meant to be a couple. But anyway, my main friend at that time, because my friend that lives in Florida now, he didn't live here, and the other friend had already moved to California. So it was just the 2 of us. Like, I think like they had all moved like the year before, but we had been close like for a while, all of us. And, or did they live here still then? No, they would have still lived here at that time. Yeah, they would have still lived here at that time. Oh, I know why. My one friend, the one that lives in Florida, he was in another relationship, like a real serious relationship, and they just didn't go out very often. That's why. And so, but anyway, my friend that lived in Colorado, he was very social, and he had this amazing apartment, and it was like in a really fun area of Indianapolis, and he just was friends with everybody and everything, right? But he and I always would go out together. So I would go like pick him up, and I would take him out, and we would go out like on the weekends, but like the main night that we would go out would be Sunday nights. And at the time, there was this bar in Indianapolis called... It stopped. At the time, there was this bar in Indianapolis called Utopia. It's actually where I met my ex. I've told that whole story on here about the matchbox or the matchbook and everything like that. Put it in his back pocket. And him saying, like, are you really just going to give me this? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, I've told that story before. But anyway, we used to go to Utopia on Sundays. And, like, it would start getting busy there at, like, 10:30. And then it was open till, like, 1. And then everybody would leave, right? And it closed down early because in Indianapolis at that time, I don't know what the rule is anymore, but bars had to close at 1 o'clock on Sunday nights. So, you know, like, we would leave and we would stand outside and say hey to everybody and we would leave, right? And then I would drive him back to his apartment, which was like 10 minutes away, and then I would go home. That was it, you know? Next day, hey, let's do the crossword. Okay, let's do the crossword. This friend of mine drank, but he didn't do anything else, ever. And I think, like, he may have smoked pot a couple times, but he was, like, just not into any of that. Only just drank. And so funny, too, gin and tonics, which is, like, what a lot of my family drank, like Tanqueray and tonic. Anyway, I don't know how I just remembered that, but... So, I would take him home. And I would drop him off at his apartment, and then be like, hey, see you tomorrow, bye, you know, blah, 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 love you, all that kind of stuff. Well, we were talking on the phone one night, and it was like, I don't know, it was like the end of the summer or something, and I said, we were talking about something, and somebody's name came up. I can't remember, well, I do know who it is in my head, but, like, I don't remember how it came up, but it wouldn't matter because you guys wouldn't know him anyway, but it was like this couple here. And he was like, yeah, he has, like, issues or something like that. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, he came to my apartment last night. This was like a Monday. He said, like, he came to my apartment last night and he, like, brought, like, 10 White Castle Crave cases. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, so Crave cases, I don't know how many come in a Crave case, but they're like White Castles, which are like crystal sliders, like the cheeseburger sliders. And you can go through and you can get what's called like a Crave case, right? And it's like 10 or 20 in a Crave case. And this guy brought over like 10 of these, they look like little suitcases, okay? And he's like, yeah, he like came to my house last night with like 10 of those Crave cases. And I'm like not catching on, right? And he's like, and he just was sitting here and he was like, you could tell he had like done all these like, you know, whatever on the way over. And I'm like, he just showed up at your house? I'm like, where was his boyfriend? Oh, he was here too. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And then he was like, he just told me a bunch of stuff about this person and like what they were doing at this party and or what they were doing. But at this point, I'm like, so I go, like, I'm thinking it's him and this couple that have come over, right? Which wouldn't have made sense for my friend, okay? Do you and your business, and I don't judge all that, but that wouldn't have made sense to my friend. Like, what I knew of him, right? So I'm, if you get what I'm saying, family friendly, okay? So I'm like, I'm confused. Like, why did they come over? Like, I didn't even realize you were that close with them. Oh, I'm not that close with them. Well, why did they come over and bring 10 Crave cases and he was doing all of these drugs and stuff like that? Like, I didn't, or you thought he had done all these drugs and stuff, and he said he was naked in his house and on this back, laying on this table. It's just weirdness, okay? And I said, and then he said something else, and I go, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like laughing on the phone, I don't get it, right? And he's like, well, at my party last night. And I go, at your party? Like, this is my closest friend, okay? Like, we go everywhere together. We go to everything together. And he goes, yeah, at my party last night, my after party. And I go, what are you talking about, your after party? I dropped you off at your house, you went to bed. I went home and I went to bed. And I think I even texted him, like, night, just made it home. And he was like, good, okay, see you, talk to you in the morning. And he was like, no, I had an after hours party. And I was like, what do you mean you had an after hours party? He goes, I have an after hours party every Sunday. And I'm like, since when? And he goes, since we've been going to Utopia, didn't you know? And I go, no, and this, I just have to tell you, okay? like, he knew I was hurt, but I understood why he did it. But at least let me know. Like, he never told me, right? And my whole life, with people around me socially, I feel like I have been left out and that I'm the joke because of that. So, or that I'm not good enough to know, or like to know what's going on, right? So I said, you have had an after hours party every Sunday since we've been going out, like, the last 6 months? Oh, yeah. Well, why didn't you ever say anything to me about it? I said, I was like, girl, you've never invited me to one of these parties? He was like, well, no, because Peter, he goes, there's people smoking pot here, and there was a lot of drinking, and he was like, you know, people are doing other drugs and stuff before they get here. He was like, I just didn't want to put you in that situation. And I said, well, do people ask, like, where I'm at? Because I mean, everybody knew I was sober. I mean, it wasn't like that was something I've always been real out there about, you know? Always been real honest about being sober. And I, like, live out loud with it. And he's like, well, yeah, people ask where you were. And I said, well, what do you, like, I mean, he was my closest friend, you know? Like, it's weird that I'm not showing up week after week to this party. And he goes, I said, well, what do you tell him? And he goes, I just told him that I don't tell you about the parties because I don't think it's good for you to be here. And I go, you know, I really appreciate you looking out for me, but, like, I'm a grown adult. Like, at least you could have let me know. Like, hey, I want you to know that I'm having these parties. And, like, to this day, I don't know what happened at those parties. Like, we never got in it, and I don't really want to know. And we're not as close as I mean, we're still close, but we're not as close as we used to be that I would bring it up, you know, like, 15 years later or whatever. It's longer than that now. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I was really hurt at the time. I can remember just, like, getting off that phone call, and he was like, well, please don't be mad at me. Like, I just didn't, you know, like, I wanted to invite you, but, like, at the same time, like, and I can remember I said to him, if what you thought was going on at that party wasn't something that I should be around, then why are you condoning it? Like, I can remember having that conversation with him, and he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, if there was stuff going on at that party that, like, you didn't think was okay for me to be around, then why are you, like, I don't know what that says. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, but my feelings were really hurt about that. I felt, like, really left out. I felt really left out. I didn't get it. Like, I was like, what did I do wrong, you know? I wouldn't have gone. I mean, I wouldn't have. I just didn't put myself in situations like that back then. You know, I was, like, really strict with myself about where and when I went, you know, but Fleetwood Mac, Dreams, from the Rumors album is on right now. 1977, I was 5 years old. Yep, but that was 28. That was my 28th year. And then for my 29th birthday, okay, so my ex and I, our anniversary of our first day is Alex's birthday. Isn't that so weird, all this synchronicity in my life around numbers? I should have my numerology charts done, but anyway, I think I had them done one time or something. I didn't really understand it all. But, so anyway, I was going to say something, but it's just whatever. Not about numerology, like, because, you know, I believe in all that stuff. But, like, our first date was on Alex's birthday, and then my friend that lives in Florida now, he and I went to a concert on my birthday. I don't remember who we went and saw. I think it might have been Farm Aid, actually, that year. I think that might have been the night that we went to Farm Aid. And I came home, and my ex had driven all the way from Seymour, Indiana, and he had put, because he knew, like, I liked, like, I still do, wear a lot of beaded bracelets and all this kind of stuff, and he had bought me, like, this leather banded fossil watch, and he had bought me, like, 20, 30, I don't know how many, of these beaded leather bracelets. They were all very, very cool. They were from a store in Columbus, Indiana. I can't remember what it was called now. it was called like, not like Utopia, but it was some kind of word like that. It was very much like a Spencer's Gift. Like, you know, they had like all kinds of like, it was basically like a head shop kind of, you know. I feel like it started with an N, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so he bought me that, and then he bought me this like beautiful like carved wooden like jewelry box. I still have it, I love it. And it was sitting outside my door and of my apartment. And I remember like my friend dropped me off like from going to the concert, and that was like sitting there. I was like, so that was like my 29th birthday. $20 years ago. God. I'll talk about some other birthdays in the next 2 nights, but I'm not going to really do a whole lot for my birthday. Sunday, Alex and I are going to go to brunch, and then Monday, I wanted to do brunch with Tanya. Like, I don't know that that's going to happen because she has to work, number one. Number two, she's not comfortable going to restaurants. And I said, if you want to just do like brunch at your, like lunch at your house on your break or something, we could do that. I just like to hang out with you. And she's like, I just have so much to do. We're going to have to see what I can get done. So she's going to try to make it work, but we're going to see. And then I think that on Monday night, I really just, like, this is so lame for my birthday. It is so incredibly lame. Do you see the storms in the background? It's so incredibly lame, but I don't even care. I want to have Sarah over and then get pizza and like maybe a key lime pie or something, or pecan pie, but I think a key lime pie maybe, or some like ice cream to make like, you know, I don't even care if I have cake. I really don't. And I want to watch The Invisible Man, because Alex and her just watched another scary movie the other night. I can't remember what it was called, but I really want to watch The Invisible Man. So I think we'll watch that on Monday night. And then if like Tanya can't do anything, I'll just probably make videos and maybe go to the pool, and that'll be my birthday. Like, I just want to enjoy that day and relax, you know. And I am going to probably make videos though. I mean, if some stuff's going on, Alex is working and nobody else can do anything. So, you know, everybody else that I know, Melissa and Jason, everybody, they're all busy that day, so. I do care. Like, this is the thing. Like, I'm not so, like, cynical like my dad is. My dad's like, it's just a birthday. Birthdays, it doesn't matter, you know? I'm not that at all. Like, it is kind of like, it's, I don't know, like, it's kind of a sad sentiment, in all honesty, that it's like, I don't like to do a whole lot for my birthday, but the fact that I might like to do something and there's nobody to do it with is kind of laughable. I mean, I'm not sad about it. I, honest to God, am not. I'm just kind of like, I mean, in all reality, like, it's just like another day, but it's like the rite of passage. I feel like I need to do something that day that's just for me. I really have some big goals for 48. You know, like for me, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do New Year's goals. But I really sit down like the day of my birthday and I think about who I want to be the next year, and I take a look at who I've been the year before, and I do a lot of evaluation over it, and I write it down, and I write down my goals for the next year. And so, you know, maybe that's what I'll do for part of the day, is sit outside. Of course, it'll probably storm all day on Monday, and I'll be like, that will be real fun. I have had in my life amazing birthdays. I have been so blessed, and I will share some of them in the next couple of days. I'm not somebody that needs, you know, bells and whistles on my birthday. Some of my best birthdays have been Alex and I going to a double feature at a movie theater and then going to eat at Steak and Shake. It's not that big of a deal to me, in all honesty. I don't like a lot of attention for my birthday. I really don't. But I also would like maybe like a, hey, happy birthday, and not like just let the day pass without anything. But especially this year when so many people didn't get to celebrate their birthdays, you know, it's like so many people didn't even get like, you know, the drive-by birthday thing or any, I mean, they didn't get anything, you know? And there's so many bigger issues going on in the world than if I get even a, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many bigger things that it's just like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I'm still excited about it. Like, I am excited about it, you know? You only get one birthday a year, you know? It's kind of how I feel about it. So, it is whatever. I don't know. Anyway, okay, you guys, listen. This is actually going longer than I thought it was, and if I don't shut up now, I'll keep on talking forever. So, number one, please go follow Steven's vlog. If you like mine, you'll like his, trust me, number one. Number two, I would like to say, if you made it this far in the vlog, thank you for watching. And if you liked what you saw, if you liked this vlog, if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. And put something in the comment section, you know, possibly a blue heart if you want to, if you don't want to write anything. Oh shoot, I wanted to talk about the lady. Okay, just real quick, if you made it this far, I'll know by the people that comment about this. The lady in the semi last night, that wasn't what was going on. So many people were like, oh, I know what was going on. She was like an older lady. She was like much older, like elderly lady. And she had like a long coat on and she could barely walk. Like he was trying to help her, but I couldn't really put it together at first. I started telling a story and I'm not gonna go into that. So anyway, that's not what it was, okay? She was an elderly woman that was having difficulty walking because she had two crutches, and he was trying to help her, okay? But I know where your minds went. So anyway, I should have said that last night, that she was elderly, but I didn't say that. So anyway, okay. I hope you guys are having an amazing, what is tomorrow? It's Saturday, I cannot believe it. Oh, this was Friday Night Live, I forgot. I hope you're having an amazing Saturday. Where am I? Oh, I just stopped it. I was like, I thought it said 6 minutes. I was like, did I just like lose time? What happened? I hope you're having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Start a book, start a movie, start a TV show. If you're like me, finish a book, finish a TV show. I can't seem to do either one. I still have to finish 13 Reasons Why, and I still have to finish The Night Stalker. Okay. And, by the way, if you have read John Green, if you've read any of his books, his brother Hank Green wrote the book, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and the sequel is coming out July 7th, I think it is. The first one was so good. You're going to want to go read it now. If you're looking for a new Audible selection or a book to read, trust me, it's fantastic. It's aliens, it's, you know, these kids in their early 20s, and they're like, you know, all trying to figure out the social media stuff with this like alien. It's so good, you guys. But anyway, I can't wait for the sequel to come out. All right, so anyway, and yeah, so do something fun today. Do something exciting with your day. Also, do something that will, you know, anything. Eat some good food. Something fun, something exciting. Start a TV show, you know, or watch a movie. Anyway, do something that will make yourself proud. Also do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. The only reason I do this outro is because one person said this is their daily meditation for the day, so now I feel obligated to do it. But thank you for the comment. So anyway, I also want to say thank you. Do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it, whether it's tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month or next year, or 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, or 69 years from now, or 80 years from now, or 88 years from now, or 100 years from now, or 110 years from now. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say to yourself, I love you. And also, one positive affirmation like, you are valuable. And every night before you go to bed, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I love you. And at least one positive affirmation like, you are valuable. But you could do 1, you could do 5, you could do 10, you could do 20 or 30 if you wanted to, or 50 or 100. Also, every night before you go to bed, say tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day tomorrow. I'm going to laugh, I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance. I'm going to spend time with my friends and family. I'm going to spend some time alone, maybe take a nap, maybe eat some great food, maybe participate in my favorite hobby or craft. And great opportunities are going to come my way all day tomorrow. And I'm going to have positive experiences all day long. And if my day gets off track, I start getting negative, I can start my day over whenever I want. And when you get up in the morning, say, today, yes, today is going to be an absolutely amazing day. Today is going to be an amazing day today. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day long. I'm going to dance, I'm going to sing, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to spend time with my friends and family. I'm going to take a nap, I'm going to spend some time alone if I want. I'm going to eat good food, I'm going to participate in my favorite hobby or craft. I'm going to make the most of today because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it. And I'm going to have great opportunities come my way all day today, and I'm going to have positive experiences all day today. And if my day gets off track and if I get negative, I can start my day over whenever I want. And also make sure that you, and if my day gets off track, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody today, just anybody. Just pick one person that you haven't talked to in a long time and just say, hey, just wanted to see if you're okay. I was just checking in. You can text them, you can call them, you can write them a letter, you can walk over to their house and just say, hey, I was thinking of you. You okay? Do you need anything? I was thinking of you. Haven't heard from you in a while. Just checking in, want to say hi, anything. It means so much to people. It really, really does. Just to make somebody know I have been seen is a very powerful thing, you know? There have been moments in my life where I haven't felt seen, and when somebody has made me feel seen, it humanized me, and it made me feel alive, and I'm thankful for people that have done that to me in my life. And let's also practice random acts of kindness, like I always say. But like I always say, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. Just do it because it's a nice thing to do. Just put some goodness, kindness, love, compassion, serenity out there into the world. And yeah, try it. Try it. Try to do a random act of kindness and not tell anybody that you did it. It's powerful. It really is. And then it becomes a habit. And then over time, you're just putting one good thing out there after another, one positive thing after another. And that affects the world, and it also affects your soul. So anyway, it affects all of us. And I need to do a better job of that too. I do too. I could work on doing a better job of that. A much better job. And I think that's it. So the battery is flashing at me. I can't believe it didn't die in this time. And I finished my vlog. And so I'm going to get off here. And yeah, I love you guys. Happy Friday Night Live. Well, it's happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you now. And I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Can't wait. Bye. Bye. Love ya.